Houston, Texas.
What's going on? You know what? Let's just start with that.
Let's do it. Let's jump in.
You lived in Texas.
I did.
Where in Texas?
Austin,
nice.
Texas.
That's
for
our
2
little
years.
sister down 290.
It was so much fun, man. That is such a great, funky little, artistic town with, it's just so eclectic and weird and awesome. And
keep Austin weird.
Absolutely.
But Houston's cool too. Have you been to Texas?
I have a whole bunch of times. One of the first movies I made filmed at the Las Colinas Studios in Dallas.
Yeah.
A Robert Altman movie called Streamers about the Vietnam War.
See, we get to talk.
There
I
you
love being from Texas. I'm a native Texan, which is kind of rare these days. But if I open up whenever I say Houston, Texas, people go, Texas barbecue and all that. So
I just took the train across the United States because I was working on a show in Atlanta. And we stopped in Houston, and it is the most embarrassing train station in the United States. It is really, really like. It's the third largest city in America.
Fourth, yeah.
After Chicago, I guess.
I've never been to the train station because now the old train stations now where Houston Astros first place play. So I got to go. I'm meeting with the mayor in a couple of weeks. I'll mention it to him. I really am actually.
The train station had outhouses. They had porta potties.
What?
Yeah.
I am meeting with the mayor. I'll bring that up. Mayor Turner. We're talking about the train station. Hey, and before I get off subject, Full Metal Jacket, dude.
Yeah.
that is just.
No, for
Thank
real.
you.
I
very
mean,
much.
classic.
Yeah.
Did you know it was going to be a classic?
No, you never know. I just did this show, Stranger Things, and I worked just as hard on a film that wasn't successful as I did on the things that are. So the lesson in that is to always do your best, that just come in and prepare and hope for the best, because you never know what's going to happen.
Let's talk about sharks.
Let's do it.
How did these roles find their ways to you? Because this movie scared the you-know-what out of me. People were jumping. People that press normally sit there like this were jumping and screaming in their seats. So you guys did a fantastic job, but I want to know how these roles found their way to you guys.
I mean, for me, it was the usual route. Breakdown came out that my agents thought I'd be good for. Auditioned a couple times for it. Auditioned for Johannes. I actually did one of my callbacks. I was in Yosemite with my mom at the time, and I did a Skype session with the wilderness in the background there. So I think that kind of gave the director a bit of a feel for that I'd be good in the outdoors. That was sort of how I got to the project.
Ed, are you a boater by nature? Do you like us? You are the perfect captain, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You really are. I'm like, wow, he's perfect for this
He is.
role.
Yeah.
Do you go boating or shark looking? And
Probably learned how to be a captain on the Memphis Belle. I was piloting that B-17, which I got to fly for about 45 minutes. Then I did a film with Francis Coppola and Carol Ballard called Wind. And it was about the 12-meter, the America's Cup yachts.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to sail because there was no room on the boat for somebody else to be doubling for you. So I had to learn how to pilot that boat. And the thing about that is when you're at the helm of a boat that size with that much power, everybody that's on the boat is in your hands. That you make a mistake, you could cost somebody their life. So there's a tremendous responsibility that comes with that, and a calm that you have to have when you're the skipper of a boat. And so that's what I tried to bring to this man, this expatriate living down in some Mexican place. I don't think it's just we ever say where we're at. We were actually in the Dominican Republic. But yeah, just to bring a kind of calmness to that character, even though his boat is a piece of junk and everything on it is falling apart.
do we need to be afraid to go back in the water after seeing it? Remember the whole thing with Jaws?
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody was terrified because honestly...
I'm hoping people will take this movie in a slightly different way where it's more about sort of having a respect for the environments you go into and preparing properly and knowing what your limits are. So it's not about, being a tourist and going to some spot and then, jumping into some... ocean that you know nothing about, but it's about having the proper training, going with the right guides, having the right equipment, and having a healthy respect for, the domain of other creatures, So I'm hoping that's what people will take away from it.
Yeah, the man is the biggest predator on the planet, not sharks. And we kill almost 100 million sharks a year. Not we, I mean people. For their fins, they're quickly becoming one of the most endangered animals in the sea. And it's barbaric, and they serve a very important purpose in the ocean. Yeah. And without sharks, I mean, the character and the nature of the oceans will change. The ocean will always look the same to us from the surface because we don't live inside of it. But if you go down and you see what what's happening to the ocean as a result of human activities above the ground, above the water. The Great Barrier Reef, the acidification of the ocean, the dying corals. 90% of our fish stocks in the world have been depleted. It's very important that we have a tremendous respect for the ocean and that we do everything that we can to protect it, because it's the source of all life on the planet. That if you want to know where most of the oxygen that we breathe comes from, it's from the ocean.